Welcome back to yet another video on Moments in the Rail Industry for August of 2025. I say that each month seems to have a lot of interesting stuff, so I'll just chuck it down to 2025 being an interesting year. Anyways, without further ado, let's get it. What was that? Whatever, I'm not gonna bother figuring out what that was. Anyways, proceeding on to the video. Starting off with some bad news, or at least bad news for foamers. The last P40s of Amtrak, 817 and 837, have officially been retired from Amtrak service. That means no more P40s run on Amtrak services anymore. Meaning, this essentially brings an end to an era of the original Genesis locomotives. An Amtrak Metroliner cab car was repainted into Phase 7. Oh my gosh, will they retire these things? Yeah, for something that predates Amtrak itself, it's pretty interesting that this thing has essentially went through almost all phases of Amtrak. The Amtrak Mardi Gras has officially begun service. This route is a former shell of the original route from 20 years ago. Hopefully, this service will be extended all the way to Miami, which was part of an original route before Hurricane Katrina. We're still on Amtrak, by the way. Amtrak's Avelia Liberty has officially entered service after 5 years of delays. Yeah, my goodness. Anyways, at least, they're officially running. The Avelia Liberty's debut into service attracted a ton of fanfare. Despite all this, there had to be issues. Of course, one of the issues being, well, one of the set's doors had issues. Not unexpected considering, 5 years of delays and stuff, but at least, they're officially in service, so I guess I could stop saying stuff about the Avelia Liberty. I'm lying to you, I'm an Alstom hater, you already know this. Amtrak San Joaquin's Charger cab car, as I call it, officially entered service with 9301. Though there was one particular issue in that it did not have a shunt unit which was required by BNSF. This means that a cab car, the original cab cars they had to be put in front of this Charger cab car, creating a very weird looking train set. Personally, this sounds like Class 1 BS, but oh well, I guess they just have to deal with it. Okay, we're actually done with Amtrak now. Moving on. Coaster officially launched their first CM cab cars and coaches after a year of testing. It got a mixed reaction from a lot of people, either just not liking the horn and design, or people thinking that this is a new thing and just liking the horn and design, I guess. As someone who's experienced the first CM cab cars, aka Go Transits, for over a decade, at least the older ones that is, yeah, you get used to it either way. If you don't like it, you get used to it. If you like it, you're already used to it, so can't really say much there. SEPTA's service cuts have officially went into effect, while partially. Due to a court order that followed a few days after the beginning of said cuts, they are essentially not allowed to proceed with any more cuts. Though despite the fact that they can't, there has already been some cuts that have caused a major disruption. Northstar is basically dead. I know they have a few months left, but on top of the prior videos I made on Northstar, the committee itself has officially declared Northstar pretty much dead. Though, again, as said before, they have a few months. They will stop running in January of 2026. In fact, the first few days of January is when it's gonna happen. I believe January 5th. So yeah, it's officially solidified that this is the first commuter railroad to be gone this decade. CPKC has come out to basically say that the UP-NS merger, or UP-NS merger is not needed. That is very hypocritical of them considering they were the latest merger and they're saying this. But it's whatever. We all know, at least, they're not lying on that point. Right? Lake State Railway Company released a Spirit of Pierre Marquette unit. This is due to the fact that a significant portion of the LSRC network was built and operated by the Pierre Marquette Railway. Pretty cool, and I really like how it looks. Hey, CSX might want to take notes. I'm just kidding. We already know CSX is not changing their mind on those units. The Wheeling and Lake Erie, the same railroad that had painted this unit on screen, has been sold to FTAI Infrastructure Incorporated for $1.05 billion. Once approved by federal regulators, this railroad will be part of FTAI's Transtar. As for the naming, the Wheeling and Lake Erie's name will stay the same, so there's not too much of a change here, except, under new man. Okay, that is legitimately the third time this has happened. I don't think I can continue this video. Where's Next? I guess she could do it. Hey, can you do this video for me? You're telling me she appeared yesterday and now she can't do a video? Whatever. Let me get on. What the hell was that? She playing games now? Whatever, let me just continue with this video. Warren Buffett, and by extension BNSF, had officially made it clear that they will not merge with CSX or NS. This comes after the craze of Union Pacific announcing plans to acquire Norfolk Southern. And of course, with that came the craze of who would merge after and sort of keep up with them. On the contrary, hedge fund urges CSX to merge with BNSF or CPKC. Same reason as the Union Pacific acquiring Norfolk Southern craze. Oh boy, so we have one side that doesn't want to, we have CPKC also not interested in whatever, and we now have CSX going on the complete opposite of what they're both saying. So now we have this dilemma that we are definitely going to be watching over because, well, we have about over a year till the thing or merger or whatever the hell you're going to call it happens or is approved or not, which I'm still on the no side. The FEC and Brightline are currently in court and have been for at least a month or two over a simplification of all the facts I literally researched. Brightline keeping the FEC in the dark about future expansion and more service, as well as more trains on their line. Information is kind of shielded, but as reported by the website RailAge, Brightline kept FECR in the dark because it knew full well that its expansion plan not only threatened to significantly disrupt FECR's freight service, but was also impossible without substantial new investment in track and facility infrastructure, which Brightline certainly could not afford. FECR contends that it only found out about these talks by chance, and that when it approached Brightline with its concerns, Brightline accelerated its negotiations without bringing FECR to the table. FECR alleges that those plans were made without its approval, which is required through its agreement with Brightline, and that the plans threaten to create a logistical nightmare for South Florida. While the line is double-tracked in the area at issue, Brightline already runs essentially hour service on it to a place beyond the northern boundary of Palm Beach County. There is also FECR's freight operation as well. Brightline trains run faster than the proposed local passenger trains would. This is a lot of information, and in fact I had to narrow it down a lot, but essentially Brightline is trying to create its own commuter rail, but there's a lot of conflictions as well as stated with the FEC problem and FEC taking them to court because of that issue among more other issues that I did not highlight. Yeah, crazy time they're going through, and especially considering this is one of the faster or fastest rail services they have, and Brightline is now in court. Yay! Fantastic. CSX and BNSF have teamed up on joint intermodal services. No, this is not a pretense to a merger. As said literally earlier in the video, BNSF is completely not interested, meaning that this merger wouldn't even happen without BNSF approving or even wanting to. This is simply a cooperation between these two railroads. So again, no, not a merger at all. The FRA is pulling back approximately $4 billion in funding for the California High-Speed Rail Authority. Now I'm sure most of us, or some of us, saw this coming with the current presidential administration they have right now, knowing they are very anti-rail. So this was definitely not much of a surprise, But what is a surprise is that the California High-Speed Rail Authority is snapping back, suing the 47th presidential administration. Wow, they are not letting this slide. The US president himself, Donald Trump, apparently fired an STB member, Robert E. Primus, breaking a 2-2 partisan split at the rail regulator. So, oh boy, I really don't know what to say about this, but this comes just before the Union Pacific Norfolk Southern merger application, which is set to happen a year later. Apparently, this board member was the only one to vote against the 2023 Canadian Pacific Kansas City Southern merger, also known as CPKC. I'm pretty sure you know it's already CPKC, but I don't know why I said that. Anyway, this is a little troubling and possibly invalid. Was that me? Okay, she's actually playing games now. Thank you for watching yet another video on Moments in the Rail Industry for August of 2025. And I'll see you, or someone else will see you, for October. Right after I go deal with Leanne's bullshit.